What's good, what's good, what's good, what's good? Deejus here, and I'm bringing you today a replay commentary of a match I had in the Mixed Base Open Tournament versus x123456789. Anyway, for some background, this is the match in the Mixed Base Open Tournament hosted by Fuddrucker, or whatever his name is. Link to his Neopets page in the description. So this is round 4 of the tournament. I had won the first 2 rounds, and I took over for an inactive player who had lost the first round. So I had a 2-1 record, and just my luck, I face off versus another 2-1 player who happens to be one of the best standard players of all time in Advanced Wars, X whatever. And I think he also had an activity loss, because I don't know how else he would lose. He's such a great player. So it was a little unfortunate that I was kind of matched up with him in this tournament, but you know, whatever. Opportunity to excel. So basically for this match, we had the map Chained Melody, and you won't find this in Global League, of course, because it's part of the Mixed Base, but it's basically the bases are intertwined, hence the Mixed Base name. And I kind of enjoyed this map a lot because I think that recons are incredibly strong here. If you say you're green, a recon will basically control the side over here and force Pink to invest a tank to contest this corner over here and defend his infantry. Same with over here, like recons are just so great in the sides. They're also great, like if Pink wants to capture this property, a recon can reach and interrupt this property over here in one single turn from the base. So recons are incredibly strong on this map. And I just enjoy, maps in general that recons are strong on. So by default, I like this map. Also, battlecopters are crazy good. Like, oh my god, like they're protected by this like river over here, so anti-air can't get really close, and you can attack over here, down here, just go over to the side, you can swing over here to this base. Like, my god, battlecopters are so good in this map. But the thing is, for this match, I actually reached out to Mr. X123, and I was like, hey man, let's have a gentleman's game. Here's the deal. I play Flak, you play Jugger. Heck, we can both play Flak. What do you say? And basically he wrote back to me, he's like, me? Play Flak? I'm not gonna be a little Flak fanboy like you. No, I won't allow that. No luck allowed in this game. He didn't actually say that, but he said something very nice and kind and understandable. But that's how I interpreted it myself. So I was a little, peeved. Caught myself. A little peeved by that comment. So I had a little chip on my shoulder. I was like, alright, I'm gonna have to whoop this guy now. He didn't let me play Flak, and I can't go into Flak if he's going to tier 2 CO. So I chose Max because I think that battlecopters are great, recons are great, artillery aren't that great. I mean, there's like a choke points like near this mountain maybe, but like battlecopters can ruin that. Maybe like a little choke point activities over here, but like artillery aren't that great, so I don't really mind being Max, and the battlecopters and recons will well make up for it. I think he assumed I was going to be Olaf because they always choose Olaf, so he chose Eagle as like the stallier than the stall CO. Like Olaf's a little stally here, but Eagle's even more stally. So I kind of like threw him off, and I was like, psych, I'm Max, like the most like aggressive. I want to end this game early and ruin you before you can even get off your superpower. I want to do as much damage as possible before you can use your lightning strike, so that when you use your lightning strike, it's not enough to overcome the deficit that I've got. So that was basically my game plan for this entire match. Inflict damage early, get some recons out early, start smashing things, get control of the center, free reign with my battlecopters, stuff like that. And I chose the Green Earth team. He chose the pink Wizard of Oz ass kind of team over here. Munchkins or whatever. So anyway, I thought this match was great, so without further ado, let's get into it. The match starts off, the usual infantry building, doing our thing, whatever. He starts, I'm just going to skip to like turn 3 where things actually start changing. Just, capping infantry, doing the do. So he went over here. This is where I was like, nice. I think he's trying to go for this property over here, so I'm like, yep, recon time, let's get it. I think I skipped over this mountain or this river over here so I could double cap these instead of going for that. I think I played it safe because he could also do a recon. So I thought that was his first mistake. So I was like, all right, I might catch this guy like off guard. Like, I prepared for this map. Like, I played with Raider El Caro, man, and stuff. Like, I practiced for this map, so I was feeling pretty good. Like, the flak chip on my shoulder. I prepared for this map. He already made like a little small mistake in my opinion. Like, I was feeling pretty good. I was like, I'm gonna beat this guy. It's gonna happen. He's really good, but I'm just gonna beat him. That's basically what was my thought process at this point. Pretty standard stuff, like I said. I go for the recon. As you can see, yeah, you're not capping that. And now he understands. And I go over the river because I'm not allowing the same thing to happen to me. So that was the first like small win for me, and I was feeling pretty good. The thing about recons, you know how I said they're good earlier and how they make a tank? Tanks cost a lot of funds in this because you have so many bases. You have 4 bases. So you're really limited to like what you spend. So every amount of like sunk funds I can force him to throw in the corner where it's useless is huge. Even if it's like I spent 4K, he spent 7K, that 3K directed in like the side over there can make a big difference in the middle fight. So that's kind of why recons are so strong. Not just because of the roads. If there was 2 bases, they wouldn't be as strong. But 4 bases, since they're so cheap, you can pump them out from like multiple bases in one turn. Whereas like a tank, it costs so much more. So that's just another thing about the recons. It's not just because of the openness of the map. It's also because of how many bases there are. See, he knows immediately. So he's like, I messed up. He still doesn't build any recons. So he's going pretty calm. He's like, max whatever. You do the aggressive thing, I'll just back off. So I'm feeling pretty good. Doing some pretty good caps. Feel like contesting that. Moving over here eventually. I think I'm going to try to go... I'm not sure who... I think this is supposed to be the... I don't know. This is one of the most contested properties, these 2 over here. I'm not sure who it should belong to because it's near 2 bases, but it's also closer to the 1 base. So TBD. I forget who they went under person's control. So now I put my infantry over here because I can put a tank. A tank will reach this. So this will only deter temporarily because a tank can reach that property in 1 single turn. So the recon trick only works early on in the game. As you'll see, I think he builds a tank himself. I move my recon over here, not just to block this property, but also to like just put a whole bunch of pressure so he can't just move up here. He'll be forced to cap this little property over there, which I can't reach. So I'm using zoning. I'm using my recons. They're not doing any damage right now. They're just preventing him from capping certain properties. Well, now he can because of the tank, but it did its job, and I'll move up here and do even more pressure. So this recon's already paid for itself, in my opinion. And that's not going to be the last recon I build. Oh, wow, I didn't even see that one over there. Like I said, throw a recon over here. These bases are going to be under my control. I can probably put a lot of pressure over here, force the tank. This tank is going to have recon paralysis, man. Like, I could attack like both of these at the same time and like force the tank to choose which one to go to. I don't think I did that, but it's just another thing about recons. Like, you gotta force the tanks to like go to a certain point. Like you only have 1 of them, so since it costs so much, nearly 2 recons. He finally builds a recon over here, but it's too late. I can easily afford a tank at this turn. Feeling pretty good. Going very well for me so far. I'd say I have a very slight advantage just for that recon trick. I interrupt this cap over here. I do not know if I probably should have capped this over here. I think that was, wait, was I in range? I should have capped this property. Yeah, I should have capped that property. I should not have interrupted. But I think I was feeling a little feisty right here. I was like, I'm max. I was kind of role-playing. I was like, I need to smash him early. I'm not going to let this game go past like 20 turns or anything. Like, I need to destroy him, basically. Like, I can't leave any remnants of this guy after turn 20. He needs to be done. So now, let's see what he does. I believe he kills my infantry with this recon. He does a standard move to the middle. My recon moved back. Now it's threatening all these infantry over here, so it's forcing a tank over here, and this recon is just doing work. It doesn't look like it's doing anything. It hasn't even attacked a unit yet, but it is doing a lot of work. This other recon over here is doing some work too. Just the zoning is crazy. He's sliding over here. He thinks he can get that property. If I get a recon, I can interrupt. Yeah, he kills my unit using his recon, so like I said, that was a mistake on my part. I should have just let him have that property and move my recon out here next turn and capture that middle property, but learn from your mistakes. So right here, move up. So I think this is my property. So I go for the capture. I think he's going to go for this capture too. So I guess early on in the game, it goes to the 2-base player. I'm not sure if it should stay that way, but it's a contested property. I think it belongs to the 2-base player since they can have more bases to reinforce even though they're further away. So I'm getting some nice free kills. Tank can't reach me. Remember what I said? Recons don't attack recons. This guy is like a genius at Advanced Wars, so I don't think he's going to attack a recon to a recon. He's going to probably like not even attack anything, probably like put on a city or something. Just, that's what you do in the meta. So here I was feeling really feisty. I was like, I have unit overlap. If I put a tank here, I can make sure that the tank, so he attacks my recon with his tank, and I have another tank to attack that with that recon there. So I was like, I have backup. A little feisty there. I'm not sure if there was really a smart move. Since he has 2 bases, he can pump out a little more, but I do have access to battlecopters soon. So it's a little feisty, but whatever. I'm playing cautious over here. I think I said I'd let him cap it, pump out a recon or something next turn, and then destroy him. So let's see what he does here. He's going for this property similar to how I was going for this property with a little more backup. He goes for the recon bait, so I was like, all right, go for it, man. Let's do it. I have stronger tanks. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention for this whole map, no comm towers. That changes the whole calculus of this game, by the way. No comm towers. I don't even know if it benefits. I think it benefits Eagle more than Max because it makes it more stally, less kills. So I think it slightly benefited him in this instance, but no comm towers really changes the whole calculus of 2-hit KOs. My tanks, since they have a 20% boost, they still do 2-hit KO opposing tanks on properties. But, it kind of changes the calcs. Like, I think max power with a comm tower, 1-hit KOs infantry, but that's with a comm tower. With no comm tower, max normal power does not 1-hit KO infantry on plains. It only 1-hit KOs infantry on roads, shoals, roads, whatever. So one thing I didn't really realize, I think I didn't even realize that there was no comm towers till like later on. I was like, oh yeah, that's why those calcs look a little off. Another thing to note, I was feeling pretty feisty this game. And this is like a really high player. He's higher ranked than me, etc. But I didn't use the move planner one single time. I don't really know how to explain this to you, but I felt like I was going to win. Like there was no question. I had no doubts that I was going to win. It's one of those games, I think ego was a big part of like how I was feeling in the game. I don't know why. My previous match versus like a 750 I played in the Mixed Fates Open before, I used the move planner. But for like a 1500 rated player, in his best mode, standard, I didn't use the move planner one single time. I don't know. My brain was, I was like, I think the whole flak thing, I was just like, my eyes turned red. It was like a bull sees like the red cape or whatever. I was just like, and like, I was a wild bull, man. Okay, so he goes for the recon. He doesn't get the 1-hit KO. Oh, whoops, the doodles. But he gets it down to 1 HP. It's pretty useless at this point. I mean, it can sit on a city, but like in Fog, like a 1 HP recon's like a god. But in Standard, a 1 HP recon's kind of useless. Not quite useless, but pretty useless. I'm not going to heal it. I'm just going to like block something with it, basically. Okay, so he's threatening my property up here. I will capture it, but it will probably be killed by a tank in this infantry, and then he'll be recapping it in one turn. So that's a little scary. So I think I planned for that. I think this is a good turn for a battlecopter. I have the proper income to get a battlecopter. Doing normal caps over here. Going down for the bottom cap. I'm not bothering that cap over there on the side over there. That's just his cop. Get a nice hit off on that tank. A 9-3 engagement is pretty damn good. But one thing I did not account for is I completely forgot this tank over here. So now he's got 2 tanks coming down on my 1 tank, and I'm just like, oh, that's why I attacked the recon. So I was a little disappointed, but then I was like, okay, well, I have a tank up here. I can throw this in somewhere, and then I'll have backup. Like, it's not the end of the world, and I can also start a tank chain. Just keep pumping out tanks. Like, we can make this work. It's not the end of the world. I was a little, scared for a second. See, with a comm tower, that's probably bye-bye. But no comm tower. All right. Interrupt the cap. Yeah, I've got a recon. That infantry's dead next turn. No questions about it. Start just attacking random crap. You know how it is. Throw my tank in here, defended. I think, yeah, it can't quite reach that, but I think I might get a power next turn. So I throw it like right out of range. Throw my tank over here. I think I'm kind of leaving this thing up to be completely killed. I don't know why I did that in retrospect. Did it build no copter? Saving up a bit. Saving up. I have big ambitions next turn, I guess. See what he does here. So he kills off that infantry. Gets a nice hit off on the tank. And here's where, when you're playing a very high level rated player, you can't assume that you're going to get tank chains and you're going to assume to get counterattacks. This guy is much better player than who I'm used to playing. Sorry, opponents. But like, he's not going to let me to get a counterattack. Look, I can't get a hit off on either one of the tanks. Not even one of them. This one's completely defended by the infantry. This one's completely surrounded by other units. I won't get a single hit off on either of them. It's crazy. My recon can't even reach that. I was just like, my mind was blown. I was like, whoa, okay. Maybe I shouldn't be this confident. This guy's, he knows how to, movement and positioning. And he starts capping that. It's like, oh. Now in retrospect, I'm like, why did I move this down here? I should have moved it up here and then like threatened him. But whatever, you learn from your mistakes. Also, I don't get a 2-hit KO off on this infantry without a comm tower. It's impossible, I think. So I can't really threaten to 2-hit KO with the infantry and then kill the tank with my tank on the property. So that's like, I was a little frustrated with the whole comm tower crap. So we had a pretty good turn here, and I was like, shit. And he builds the battlecopter. I'm like, oof. All right. Time to put the pedal in the metal. Time to put the pedal in the metal. It wasn't like that. But I was, I was starting to feel a little scared, frightened. So I kill off that, throw my tank up on this property. He's not going to bother a tank on a property like this with Max. Like, that's not going to be a good engagement. I think if he takes one tank without a comm tower attacking my tank on a property, even with the first strike, I think his tank will lose. So it's not really a question. He's not going to do that. I interrupt this cap up here. Like, it's not even close to 2-hit KO. Like, just not really great. So it's a little frustrated. But now I'm just like, okay. So my plan, I'm kind of losing this little area over here, but I can win these sides over here. If I can throw a recon over here and win this property and win this property over here, and maybe get some middle play over here, abandon this area, I think I'm looking pretty good. So that was kind of my plan at this point. I get a free kill off on this infantry over here. I think it was a roll, so I got a little lucky. But, I mean, not a big deal. Start cap in the middle. Build an anti-air. Now I'm like, ugh. I should have done that before. I'll probably have a power next turn, so it looks like it won't reach, but I probably will. So I was like, ugh. So my anti-air will have 1+ movement. The thing about Max, what I love, is you can pop the CO power, you can pop the super CO power, so it's always a threat. Maybe my movement can increase 1 movement next turn. Maybe I'll hold it for 2 more turns, and then I have 2 movement plus for my super CO power. So Max is very unpredictable, which I love about him. Build a battlecopter finally, threatening a lot of stuff. Threatening infantry, like this whole like curve. It's like a whole like crescent of damage I can do with this battlecopter, which is pretty nice. And also you can't attack this tank anyway if he wanted to, because like this battlecopter is going to come in and his anti-air will not reach it in 1 turn. So I'm feeling pretty good. I had a rough beginning of the turn, but after this turn I'm feeling good again. Coming back to this property, his recon can try, but it will get blasted by Max. Max blasted. So let's see what he does here. He just completely ignores those tanks, if I recall correctly. He's capping this, which is very ambitious, but, whatever. Getting some free infantry kills. He completely... So this is where, like, the higher level players, like, he's just not even attacking. He's just, like, taking control. And I was just like, huh. I was hoping he would attack me for some favorable engagements for me, but he has a lot of patience. He knows, like, I don't... He didn't even try to interrupt these properties over here. He's like, yeah, you can have them, whatever, man. Like... My tanks are better here. You can't attack me. Like, look at this positioning. It's crazy. Like, this 4 HP infantry is blocking, like, any engagement I can have over there. And he's going to bring in his battlecopter, too, as a backup. Brings up this tank here. It's like, yeah, you can get it with your battlecopter, but I'm going to build an anti-air. Oh, he combines the units. All right. Let's see how it is. Builds in his battlecopter. I have my power here. I was debating at the beginning of the turn, like, what would I gain out of this? Like, let's see. I think I used it. I maybe be able to one-shot this infantry over here and send this tank over here and do a lot of damage to that, and send this tank over here and kill this tank. The thing was, it would work if there was a comm tower. Like, I would blast this infantry, do a lot of damage to this anti-air, and get a nice hit off on this tank over here with this tank. And it would be beautiful. It would honestly be beautiful. And then I can move this infantry down here and block his own tank from going back, his own tanks from even retaliating. And this tank would follow up over here. I think that would be a nearly winning move, if I'm perfectly honest. However, because there is no freaking comm tower, I cannot one-hit KO this infantry over here with this battlecopter, even with a power. So I was like, I saw this at the beginning of the turn. I was like, oh, I'm going to crush him. And then I was like, oh. He knows there's no comm tower. I do not have a 1K. I think I had like a 10 or 20%. I'll show the calcs or whatever. Percentage to hit and kill this infantry, but it was not high enough that I was willing to take that engagement. Because if I failed, then it's just going to die to the anti-air. But that would have been beautiful. Kill that infantry, hit the anti-air, hit that tank, bring this tank up here, build another medium tank or tank, build another battlecopter for all I care, bring this recon down, like, I would probably overrun this whole side. I'd let him have the middle, and I would completely overrun his 2-base side. He even base skipped over here because he didn't have enough funds. Man, that would have been nice. Winning him by like turn like 10 or 11. That would have been nice. But alas, no comm towers. No comm towers. Feeling pretty good over here. I'm angling for this property over here. Because he's so overcome with the middle over here, he had to base skip. He doesn't have anything to like prevent this cap over here unless he moves this infantry up there. This anti-air has to go to the center because that's probably where I'm going to put the battlecopter. So I'm looking pretty good on that side over there. Like, I'm pressuring a lot. He's slightly winning over here. He's definitely winning in the middle, but I'm pressing pretty hard over here, slowly angling over here. So I'm like slithering on the sides. I'm like, all right, I'll let him win the big battle. But meanwhile, while he's focused on the big battle, I'll slowly like kill him internally. And then by the time he realizes, I'll win. So that was my game plan. I'm feeling pretty good right now. Actually, I think he wasn't feeling pretty good. Because I was like, yeah, it's going game versus him. It's going pretty good. I was talking to Starflash, and he's like, oh yeah, he's worried, man. Like, you have him on his toes. And I remember I still was like flooded with like flak anger, irrational anger, and I was like, yeah, on his toes. I want to knock him on his ass or something like crazy like that. I don't know. That's just to give you an insight into my psyche for this match. I can't explain it. I've like lost games and not cared at all, and I've won games and not cared at all. But this match, for some reason, it's just, I really thought like I was going to win and I was going to destroy him, and like there was nothing he could do about it. That was my psyche. I don't know why. I can't explain it. Sometimes the brain works strangely, but that's how it felt. Anyway, back to the game. I moved my battlecopter over here out of reach of his anti-air. Holding on to my CO power, I'm like, you know what? I'll use it when I want. Get a nice hit here. Yeah, I do have overlap with my battlecopter. I was about to say, like, his battlecopter is going to get a free hit, but he won't get a free hit because this battlecopter will come in. I have this tank over here, which will have coverage. See, it doesn't have coverage right now, but with the CO power, it will. So I'm feeling pretty good. He does have a tank over here that he's going to have to bring, but if he brings that tank over here, these two will overcome this one infantry. So I'm still feeling pretty good. I bring my infantry in. I build another battlecopter because battlecopters are OP on this map. Build a recon. Feeling good. I'm going to put it down here. He's going to have to move this tank over here to stop the center. So he's not going to have enough funds to stop this. So I'm feeling pretty good. Let's see what he does here. So, man, this stupid pop-up. He attacks. Surprises me. He actually attacks the tank over there. Kills it. But you know what I said about his positioning earlier. He's going to find a way so I can't attack this battlecopter. Because he's freaking x123456789. I just win a thumb war or whatever his name is. So I was a little frustrated by that. But I'm getting dangerously close to my superpower. And when I say dangerously, I mean dangerously. And I'm just waiting for it. I have like a lot of evil plans planned for my superpower. And he builds like an anti-air. It's like, yeah, you're not going to reach there in time. Even with like a lightning strike or not. He moves his tank back wisely. He knows the super is possible coming. And it's going to wreak havoc. He moves his infantry, hoping to interrupt this cap over here. And he thinks, at this point, I think this is... I felt the best of the whole match. I was like, I think I can beat him this turn. This is the turn that I felt the most confident. Because I was like, okay, my battlecopter can't reach right now. And, you know, whatever, I can't have a super CO power. I still need, 14,000 in funds. This tank can't really reach that much. But I had a plan. I was like, I can't break through right now. But my plan, first I capped that. If you look at the capture game, I'm actually winning the capture game. And I was winning the capture game for the majority of the turns before as well. So I'm doing pretty good. I felt pretty good. He has more units. Well, not really. He has about the same units, but more unit value. I guess it's because it's the end of his turn. But I was winning the capture game for the vast majority of this. Capture that. And now is when I was like, all right, time to bring out the big brains. Sack my B-copter. Boom. The thing was, I wanted it to die, and I got a low roll. So I got lucky that my B-copter didn't die. But I wanted it to die because I would have gotten more charge. So I was like, why didn't you just die, you B-copter? The inner lash in me was like, just die. So I was a little frustrated by that. So I had to use this B-copter over here to get more charge. See, if that had died, I wouldn't need to do that. So I was a little annoyed by that. And the reason why I can reach this battlecopter with my anti-air after using a super CO power. So it's like I need to get enough charge so I can kill that battlecopter, so I can kill all these tanks. I wish I could have not used this battlecopter and swung it around with the super, killed this tank, so it's out of range of this anti-air. Ideally, that's what would have happened, but I got unlucky. Lucky, whatever. So I was a little upset about that. It kind of ruined my vibe a little bit, but I still think I can get off the superpower nicely. So I'm getting dangerously close. See, like what I said, I already would have had it by now if it wasn't for that. Interrupt this cap. I think I was just desperate for charge at this point. I go for a cap over here. I can't quite. I think he knew that. I can't quite reach this. If I could get this tank over here with a superpower and kill that off, then I'd be sitting pretty at like 27 to 21k. Like that would be insane. I would pretty much win. But unfortunately, he's smart and he won't allow that. So he puts it in the corner where he can't be killed by this tank. That would have been like chef's kiss. Beautiful. And I just started attacking with random infantry. And I'm like, superpower! First thing I do, of course, kill that stupid ass, whatever it's called, copter. And I'm like, here's the big brain. Ha! Your recon can't reach my infantry. That is my property. This almost would have been my property. And now I'm going to do a lot of hectic stuff in the middle. So you better watch out, bud. Boom. Out of here. I don't even... If he attacks from the base to a smack super on the road, I don't even know if that's a favorable matchup, to be perfectly honest, with a nice super like that. And over here, too. Look. Like I said, he's focusing so much on the middle. Kill that. I'm going to get a nice hit off on that tank. Boom. 9-3. You love to see it. I'm slithering my way on the sides. Slowly slithering in. Income advantage. My unit advantage is looking good. Look at the unit composition. Everything is going so well. I'm like, okay. Let's not blow it, Deejus. Let's just win this. And then I got a little worried here because look. He can reach the copter. And I was like, oh my god, if that copter died over here and I moved my copter over here, he wouldn't be able to reach that copter with his anti-air. And look how close he is to getting his lightning strike. I was like, are you kidding me? If this copter had died and my copter was over here, I don't think he can get a lightning strike, but now I think he can. Let's see what he does. So he's getting closer. He attacks the recon. I honestly could care less. He kills my copter. He attacks this copter, and I'm like, oh god, he's gonna get it, isn't he? He's 2,000 away. He has no... They're all dead tanks. I mean, he can, like, sack this tank over here. But, like, yeah, he sacks this one off, dead. He gets freaking lightning drive, and I'm like, oh. If this copter had been over there, and that freaking one over there died, he never would have gotten lightning strike this turn. And now he has 2 turns to move his stupid recon up and interrupt this. He's going to have turns to interrupt these with his anti-air. And I was like, oh my god, all that hard work from a stupid little roll. But I'm like, okay, whatever. I still have a huge income advantage. I'm feeling still pretty good. Like, whatever. Bring on the lightning drive. Have at it. I don't care. He might not even use it. Like, all his units are weakened and stuff. I have a medium tank that's going to do some big boy stuff next turn. I'm like, whatever. What are you going to do about that? So I thought he might not even use it. But once I saw the artillery, I was like, yeah, he's going to use it. Artillery not good unless you like scoot and shoot kind of deal where you move them and they fire the next turn. So he uses the lightning strike. And it hurts. He attacks this tank over here. Kills the tank now. The center is looking very dire for me. Even his pesky little stupid anti-air that got him the lightning charge. Just, it hurts. Like, that should have been mine. It just should have been mine. I was so angry. So angry at Mr. RNG. But, you know, whatever. I still have the income lead. I would have had a huge income lead, like probably game-winning income lead. But, you know, whatever. I can rebound from this. He moves his artillery down here, and now I have no chance at capturing this property. So I'm like, okay. I'm not going to build my income lead anymore. I just need to maintain and build up and destroy him. Like, that's fine. 3k income advantage. I can live with that. He leaves the tank alive. He did a lot of damage. And it's only turn 10. And he got lightning strike on turn 10. I think that tells you a lot about like how much damage I was doing. So, you know, I try to look at the positives here. I moved my medium tank over here. You know, I'm not entirely sure why. I think I was a little scared of, you know, I don't know. I think I was thinking a medium tank chain originally, but for some reason I moved it over here. I think I just really wanted to get this property. Like, really wanted it badly. And since he didn't base skip since he lightning strike, but his units are all up here, they're kind of out of position. Figure if I can kill this infantry and like scare that artillery out, I can actually cap this. So I was a little, maybe I should have put that in the middle, because they would have overcame all these tanks. And weaken that up. So basically he has to move the artillery or something, because if he doesn't, I'll kill the infantry and I'll blast him with the medium tank. So I move towards my base. I'm retreating a bit. I'm like, okay, I need to regroup, move back, handle my income lead. All right, let's regroup, guys. Like, it's cool. We'll survive. Let's take our ego back. Get some damage done over here, but let's just retreat. Build an anti over here. He's got a scary copter. Move my, you know, just like, my tail was between my legs. But, you know, there's no shame. I have an income lead. But now he starts capping, and I'm starting to get a little scared. He starts moving all his units down here, killing all my weakened units. And unit count is finally down to even again. I was winning it for the majority of the time. Now he's winning it. He basically controls the entire middle at this point. He's just picking off my weakened units. And then he even gets this cap, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't even stop that. Like, I was starting to get a little scared. And he double capping these, and I don't want to sack this 3 HP infantry to get it to 9 for like one more turn. Like, that's just wimpy, man. Like, I would have done that when I was like 900 level, but at this point, like, I need to keep my infantry alive. I'm at lower like unit count. Like, it's a little dire. So next turn he kills my capping infantry. I'm like, all right, so I'm gonna just kill his artillery then. But then he builds a medium tank. I'm like, ooh, forgot to account for that. That's not good. So I'm like, I'm starting to panic now. I'm starting to panic. I'm down on unit count, down on unit value count. I still have the income lead. That's basically what's keeping me alive. But it's not going to last for very long. So I need to act now. I need to have some plan right now. First things first, I get on the HQ to defend it, because it's, you know, there's infantry nearby. It's threatening me. I can't allow him to like HQ cap. I think that's how Mang's lost. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going down by HQ cap. Kidding me? So I fortify, decide to go for the trade. I think my max, even though he's attacking plains to road, I figure the free 6k here, and he'll probably give me a power from it too. So I'm like, whatever. Build a battlecopter. I'm like, don't think he can reach my battlecopter with his anti-air, because I have a freaking tank on an HQ with 4 defense. 4 defense, and also like, there's no comm tower. So yeah, good luck killing this tank. And now I'm like, okay, I'm starting to feel good again. I'm like, okay. He's going to have the income lead, but now I'm starting to push back. I have some counterplay. I'm feeling pretty good again. Just need to heal all my units, push over here, get this property over here, get my income lead back. And then he attacks this infantry over here. I'm like, huh. All right. Now okay. You know how I underestimated x12345 whatever the whole match. I thought I was going to win easily. I thought I was preordained to win. I don't know how to explain it. And I underestimated him. And he did some like nice cutoffs with his infantry and his units, so I couldn't have good counterattacks. He had nice unit overlap. He seemed to have good counters to a lot of my things. I'm gonna admit, he got kind of lucky with the superpower, okay? But I was underestimating him. This is the turn where he earned his rank. This is the turn where I was like, okay, this guy's out of my league. Like, he's just better than me. I thought I was going to win without using even like the unit planner, but at this point I was just like, yeah, he's just better than me. This is what I saw. I have a freaking tank on this HQ, 4 stars, no comm towers. Let's see what he does. Sacks, 5 HP tank. Sacks, a 3 HP tank. Uses a 9 HP tank. Kills my tank on my HQ. captures my freaking HQ, blocks my copter in, double blocks it with this, and seals it off with the infantry right there. Moves his copter over here as well. Captures everything. Now he has the capture lead. I still have pretty decent union value, but he's about to build a bunch of stuff. And honestly, at this point, I'm like, what? How do I... It's like a puzzle, except there is no solution. There is not theoretically, there is no way to interrupt this cap. Physically impossible. Physically impossible. I was like, okay, maybe if I get a power or something, I can swing something. It's physically impossible. There's no way I can stop this cap. He's going to win. This guy freaking sacked a whole bunch of units. I think he planned this thing probably 3 turns in advance. He probably knew he was going to cap my HQ before he even started capping this property. That's how so I was like, okay, man, you earned your number 2 or number 3 best of all time advanced force player. I am sorry for doubting you. I am sorry for shaming you for not picking flak. You have earned it. I gave him a little clap. And I was like, damn, man, you got me. I think I just all right, let's get some charge or whatever. He didn't even attack this medium tank over here because he didn't want to give me charge, but the charge doesn't even matter. So I think I got charge. And then I did whatever any reasonable human being does when you're about to lose. I started building a whole bunch of missiles. See, you think you kill the tank here and then the infantry gets it, but because of the mountain, if there's no mountain here, I could interrupt it. To be perfectly fair, even if I somehow interrupted this cap, he has so many units here, I'll knock it down in 7 HP, 6 HP. He's gonna put another 5 HP infantry on there. I don't think I could even interrupt it next turn anyway. You could put a tank over, or put this copter over here blocking the tanks from south. Attack with a medium tank over here for all I care. It wouldn't even matter if I even found an answer to this puzzle. That was just it's one of those magician tricks. I was just bravo, man. I just started killing crap. Built my missiles, resigned. It was unbelievable, man. I was so humbled. I don't know, so the lesson of this match for me, I think I could have won this game at multiple points. But the lesson of the match for me is I played stupidly with getting free kills for the tanks and stuff. The lesson is know where your psyche is at. Know your psychology. I was like I said, a bull, seeing the red thing. I should have respected him the whole time. Be okay, he's gonna plan this out. He has a plan. Instead of you need to know where you're at. You can be angry. You can be sad. You can be too happy. You need to know where you're at, calm down, and just go for it. This match was a perfect example of it got to my head. I had I think at the time of this match I had a 25 plus game win streak in Global League, and I was just feeling really good. So you can't get too cocky. I got too cocky and I got smashed. Let's be honest here. I got smashed. It's how it is. Sometimes you need to be humbled, and I got super humbled by this. But he played phenomenally. If you want to look at those, how we covered up those units, if you go back in the replay and look how we covered those units, you could learn a few things about that. That was phenomenal. Using those units to remaneuver so I wouldn't get new hits off when he had those 2 tanks off in the beginning. It was a small thing at the time, but it really snowballed and allowed him to take complete control of the center and double cap these properties over here, which basically gave him the income lead. And even though I probably could have won, I don't want to rag too much on I coulda, woulda, shoulda. Even if I did not let him have the superpower, he probably would have still come and beat me, I think, unless I had some really strong play. But the way I was playing was too reckless. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this match. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more when it was over because I was it was a masterpiece. And at the end, he was oh, I can see it now. I can really appreciate how he played. During it, it was it was just I don't know what's going on. Time is just flying by. But afterward, I was wow. That was a phenomenal game on his part. Bravo. He earned his place. I didn't think I was going to get HQ capped. I got embarrassed, man. And I needed it. I started losing after this match too. I was like, this was the beginning of the tilt. I was like, I won so many games in a row. I was like, well, time to lose. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed yourself. Leave some comments or whatever. I hope you enjoyed it. And I know some of you Fog players want to see a Fog match next that I do. You will see a Fog match. I will play a Fog match, and I have a good match for y'all. So I hope you enjoyed yourself. And remember, don't get too cocky. Bye now.